Welcome back. I'm G from the Gnawing Rootbiters, and today I'm going to be showcasing Scythe. This game has been on my radar for a few years now. Ever since Iron Harvest came out, I just got into it about a month ago, and I gotta say, I'm in love. If Spirit Island is the greatest cooperative board game of all time, then this game is probably the best competitive one. It's very similar to Catan. It has the same concepts of board control, gathering resources, building yourself up, but it's more Dieselpunk. If you're not familiar with this game, don't worry. I'm going to try my best to explain all the systems as they come and try to keep the focus on the strategy, which I think is the most entertaining part of this game. Finally, I want to gauge interest for more content on this game, so if this video gets 5 likes, I'll convince Ethan and a few of my other friends to hop on this game, and we'll make a follow-up video where all of us are just going at each other's throats. It'll be great. So with that, let's just get right into a game. There are 7 playable nations, and traditionally, your nation is selected for you randomly. My favorite nations to play as are the Crimean Khanate, the Clans of Albion, and the Republic of Polania. Let's see what we get. Okay, we got Polania. Oh, and Polania Patriotic. Alright, this will be an interesting one. Patriotic just means... I'll explain later. Every faction has a special ability, and for Polania, their special ability has to do with encounters, which are these tokens across the board that if your character picks them up, you get a choice event, basically. So that's quite nice to get some bonuses early. We also have secret objectives. My secret objectives for this game are Foundations of the Empire and Woodland Advantage. I can only accomplish one of them. I think both of them are pretty easy for me to go for, so I'm not going to worry too much about them. Here you can see I have my character Anna and her pet bear Wojtek. He's my favorite. These symbols here are pretty important. We have power. This is how strong you are. This is how strong your units are when they're fighting. And then we have these combat cards. Combat cards are used in combat to just give yourself a little bit of an edge. Down here are coins. Coins are important for your economy. They can be used to trade for resources. They can be used to buy power or popularity. And popularity is, well, it's how popular you are. So real quick, I'll just explain how to play the game and how to win. If you already know, then just skip ahead to this timestamp. So down here I have these 4 columns. You have to select a column to use for the turn, and then the next turn you can't use it again. So in general, anything that's highlighted in red is stuff that you pay, and green is stuff that you gain. So the bottom row is entirely just made up of actions that cost resources in order to do those actions. So we have oil for upgrades, metal for mechs, wood for structures, and food for recruits. And because of Patriotic, you can see that making mechs and enlisting recruits gives me more coins, which lets me do these top actions. I can move, bolster my power, trade for resources, or produce. I have these alternative options down here, but you almost never want to do these. They're just not as efficient. Now for the question of how do you win. So here's the thing. Ending the game and winning are 2 separate things. It's actually pretty straightforward to end the game. You need to earn 6 stars. And stars involve getting, all upgrades, all mechs. Like, you get stars just by playing the game. The efficiency puzzle is how do you get the most stars the fastest. Because the sooner that you end the game, the more likely it is you're going to win, but not always. Because the scoring system, after the game ends, there's a tally for everyone's scores, and those scores are based on other factors as well besides stars, like how many tiles you own, how many resources you have on the map, and your popularity. So with that, let's get into the strategy for this game. So since I'm patriotic, the game wants me to build mechs and enlist recruits. Building mechs requires metal, but I'm not on a mountain. I have to cross the river to get a mountain, and I can't cross the river without building a mech. So the alternative is I might have to build a mine using wood, but I don't get anything for building wood, so I think I'm going to focus my early game strategy on just getting a bunch of workers and enlisting some recruits, and then eventually trading for a way off. I see an opportunity here. Instead of starting off with moving, I'm going to start off with trading. If I trade for 2 oil, then when I move next turn, I can also get an upgrade. And that upgrade can go a long way in reducing the amount of turns it takes for you to get your bottom row stuff. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to upgrade yet. We'll see when we look at what everyone else is up to. So we got the Nordic kingdoms. They're just trading and... okay, they're also going for upgrades. We got the Rusviets. They're also going for upgrades. And okay, we just got 3. Everyone's going for upgrades early. Alright. Okay, so we're going to start with a movement. Like I said, I'm going to go for food here to enlist all my recruits, since that gives me a good amount of money. And so I'm going to keep this guy on food, but I'm going to bring this guy to the village so that I can make more workers to then put on food. And also getting my character towards the village as well, so that she can activate the encounter token. For oil, I've decided that I'm going to upgrade the bolster and deploy. Just making that column that much stronger is probably going to be good for me in the long term. And yeah, you can see, yeah, each guy has their own little pet. We got Bjorn riding his ox. We got Olga and her tiger, Changa. And then we have Akiko and her pet monkey. Yeah, one thing that's really nice about me having this spawn is the encounters that are on my side of the map are just going to be completely uncontested, so once I break out of the peninsula, I'm going to try to just go and get all of those encounters. So we're going to build the workers and the food, and yeah, just keep running it. I'm looking at my upgrades, and I can actually potentially build mechs for only 1 metal, which can be huge. I think I'm going to move just to be able to get to this encounter sooner and just get the benefits from it right away. And then I think I'll keep these villagers here because I want to get 5. Yeah, I want to get 5 villagers before I start moving them with a mech. So I'm going to end my move there early. And then... okay, gain a combat card and 1 popularity. And then pay 2 to gain any 3 resources. So this is huge. This will let us just get a mech right away. I don't want to pay 3 popularity to deploy a mech. I could do that if I do the top option, now I can do this. But as Polania, I want popularity because that's one of my advantages of having more encounters is I have higher popularity generally. So I want to make use of that so I have a higher score at the end. So instead I'll just pay and then make the mech myself. Just 3 metal, and we move on. Okay. And he just instantly throws down a mill on oil. Okay, so he's gonna get upgrades pretty consistently then. Okay, yeah, and they're just making their stuff better as well. They got more workers. Let's build that mech. So I can build here either Riverwalk or Submerge would be the most helpful right now. Speed is very good, but without the ability to get off the island, speed isn't really that helpful, so I think I'm going to go for Riverwalk here. I'm going to just use this to get onto another tile. And we'll build the mech right here so I can transport all those villagers. So yeah, every unit has to move 1 by 1 for moves, but the mechs can move workers with them. So I could have like 7 workers on that tile, and all of them would move with the mech, which is really nice. So yeah, now we're just going to produce and get to that high worker count so that we can have... actually, wait, there's a little efficiency thing I could do here. Because if I trade for food, then when I do produce more food, I will have this recruit done. Yeah, I think actually I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to trade for oil. And then upgrade my enlist recruit thing here so that it only costs 2 food. And then when I produce more food, I'll be able to make use of it. And then additionally, I'm going to start moving onto the center of the board just to pick up some encounters. So I'm delaying my recruit for a little bit. You can already see the AI is going for the recruits because recruits are just really strong. Basically, the way that enlist recruits work is you set up that column as like a community column. And when your neighbor does those actions, you also get a benefit for those actions. That's how Rusviet just got 2 combat cards, is because she enlisted this recruit right here. It's really good. It's really good for getting your tempo up and running. I'm going to move Anna over here, And let's move the mech. No, let's keep the mech where it is. Yeah, I think once again we're just going to do this end move. Just keep it as is. And upgrade for an extra move and oil. Not oil, food. So now I'm producing 2 workers, 1 food, and enlisting a recruit so that I can just get passive income, basically, to keep myself out on the map. Okay? Togawa has their first mech out as well, and they also picked up Riverwalk. Let's produce, make those workers, make some food, recruit, and we're gonna recruit for combat cards, because I think eventually these guys gotta go for food, right? I mean, I think Bjorn over here is just going for structures, but Akiko's going for food, so I'm gonna do that. And then I'll get a one-time bonus of just combat power so that I can use that to stay on the board, stay relevant. You can see on the side the combat power of each nation. So Nordic Kingdoms is the same power as me, and 7 is an important threshold because in combat you can commit up to 7. So the idea is basically to try to get a higher value up on your opponent when you're fighting. And only characters and mechs can fight. So right now Nordic doesn't have any mechs, so I don't think he's looking to fight. And you know what, that's fine too, because I'm not either. I'm trying to hit these encounters. Let's go... I only need 1 worker on food, to be honest. The rest can come to metal. Yeah. And then let's put Anna on the encounter. Let's see what we get. Gain a combat card and a popularity. It's usually good. And then pay 2 to gain 4 wood. I have no use for wood right now. Let's do this one. Another recruit. Make it so that whenever they build more mechs, I get money. And we'll get some extra popularity right now. Very nice. So yeah, while we're here, let's just get more recruits. And what's nice is every time we produce now, we also get just enough metal to make mechs. That's why upgrades are so important. Is that it lets you hit these like really precise engines where you're able to just keep doing the same 2 things over and over and maximize how much you get out of it. And that's what I love about this game. Just being able to feel like a mastermind when you pull it off. You can see my combat cards here. I have 3 4s and a 5, which means that I can play those when I'm fighting someone. So generally the AI doesn't attack you unless it's a fight that they're for sure going to win. So if an AI starts attacking you, just don't waste power, because it's going to win. And then when they use that power on you, you come back and retaliate and take them out. So yeah, right here I'm going to... Oh yeah, look at that recruit right there. I got a combat card because she used the recruit option. Let's get some power. Let's get some mechs. And let's go for speed now because, well, gotta go fast. We gotta hit all those encounters. I would go for the encounter that's right there, just sitting on where the worker is. But the thing is, when you attack a tile and you take over a tile that workers are on, you lose popularity. Polania does have an upgrade actually though, that prevents that from happening. Like they can just attack and not care about the workers that are there, which is really nice. But it's just more practical most of the time to go for just the movement upgrades, because dang, they're just really fast. Once again, we're just gonna produce. That's gonna give us our last recruit. And that's our first star. So now there's no point in getting more food for the purposes of spending it, at least. There are some cases where you still want to generate a resource if it will give you a certain effect for, like, I don't know, an objective or another thing, but for now I have no reason to get any more food, so I'm going to start moving off of food. I'm thinking of moving Anna to just somewhere else. Yeah, I'm gonna go down here and just get this encounter token, and then after that, go for the factory. And then I'll move these 2 workers off of food and send them to, I guess, the village, because I do also want to get the 8 worker star at some point. I'm also going to be able to get the combat power star here. You're maxed out at 16 combat power, and given my mat and just the recruits that I'm getting, I think it's going to be pretty easy to hit that threshold, actually. It looks like a lot of the other bots are doing the exact same thing, though. Like, no one has combat power below 7 right now. So everyone is at full power, essentially. So fights can be pretty much just based on whoever attacks first, which is scary. I'm gonna make another mech, and that'll be with the 3rd one. Let's do... I don't need Submerge. Submerge is really nice for letting you get onto lakes. These lake tiles are usually intraversable, unless you're Polania or Nordic or Togawa. I don't think I need it, though. I'm going to go with Camaraderie, and now I can't be bullied anymore by workers. Yeah, now I can nab those and not lose anything for it. Oh! You can still complete an objective? That's right, I forgot. Foundations of the Empire. Have at least 6 of your tokens on 1 territory. Got 3 mechs and 3 workers. That's another star, baby! Oh, well, would you look at that? He's coming closer to deliver me those resources. How nice of him. I will take that. Okay, we're gonna move just 1 mech onto here, because don't need more than that. Those workers are gonna get kicked off, and I'm gonna steal their oil. And I can actually use that oil for the upgrade later this turn. Let's get Anna to... I said I would put her on the encounter, but I think it might actually be better for me to just get the factory card now, because the factory card might cheat me another mech. So I want that. And then let's put this mech over here, because Bjorn might have a lot of power, but he doesn't have a lot of combat cards. So there's a high likelihood that if he decides to attack me, I might be able to outpower him. So I'm gonna provoke him into just pushing onto this with Bjorn. Alright, so here we are at the factory, and yeah, like I said, right over here it says we can pay 2 different resources to gain a mech. I actually don't have 2 different resources right now, but that shouldn't be that big of a problem. I can get some. Alternatively, I could go for swapping power for popularity. That is something I could do. Because I'm going to have 16 power, but I don't need 16. Like, I can swap it for popularity to reach the next threshold for scoring. I'm going to do this. Wait, why would I even... No, I have so many combat cards. This one's just straight up better in every way. Okay, we'll use the oil. And now, let's do this much production for this much... Yeah, let's just make the deploy better. Oh, and there it is, 16 power. Thank you very much. I think that power came from this recruit since I upgraded. Oh! He's fighting me for the factory control. Okay. Well, he has 8 power cards. Yeah, like I said, the AI usually likes to all-in. And, yeah, the more power cards they have, the more likely it is that they're going to hit me with something, so... I'm just gonna... not... I'll just throw this in case he's bluffing. I doubt it, though. Yeah, see? Attacking me with a full power of 12. So, I lose this combat, and that gives the Rusviet a star. But I get a combat card because I spent a combat card. I just turned that 2 into a 5. Very nice. So yeah, Anna was forced to retreat back to the home base, but the nice thing about the factory card is that the bottom row is a double move. And because I have movement speed of 2, I can move up to 4 tiles. So I'm going to do something funny. I'm going to pay a combat card to get some popularity, and then I'm just going to move Anna back as if nothing happened. Boom. Alright, we're gonna move and put... I'm actually gonna move Anna to an event because I can just have a mech come in and take the factory back. So we'll do that. And it would be pretty cool if I could actually get 2 victories in one. That just instantly gives me 2 stars, by the way. And then I could just close out the game by finishing the mech star. I'm gonna do the double whammy. I'm doing the double whammy. So I'm gonna resolve this one first. He has 0 power because he used everything on me last turn. So I don't even need to do anything. Like, I just need to throw down my combat cards. I don't have to use any power. Yeah, so there's the 2. And then now we fight over here, and I hit him with everything. 12. Yep. That right there is 2 victories, which equates to 2 stars. And I get an encounter. That encounter, let's see here. Pay 2 to gain 1 worker and 3 food. Wait, I can just win next turn. Yeah, we'll do that. And build a structure? Why not? What's the structure bonus? Straight line? Okay, so just building a structure is totally fine. I'm not getting enough popularity to hit the threshold, it's fine. We're just gonna end the game. Let's build a monument, why not? And just because it'll give us an extra gold coin, I'll upgrade this and this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got this game locked in. That's the beautiful thing, though. You don't know until the end. Like, I played a game earlier today, and I almost lost to Togawa, who was just like doing nothing on her side of the map except just getting a bunch of money, getting a bunch of gold coins, and almost bought herself. She basically bought herself into second place. It was like 8 points off. You don't know who's in what position until the very end. You can make good guesses, like the fact that I have 5 stars over everyone else who has maybe 1 or 2 is a good guess. And I have the factory in the middle. It's a good guess. But I think it's GG. I think it's GG. Let's just produce. I could milk for popularity, that would be pretty funny. But nah, let's just take the win. Produce, work 2 workers, and that's it. And now we see the final tallies. Okay, we all had the same popularity threshold. That's good to know. I had controlled more tiles. I had more resources that I stole from the Nordic kingdom. I had 2 structures, and yeah, I had the most money. Alright. These bots were on the hardest difficulty, by the way. They are hard if you are getting into the game. But after a while, you start to figure it out, and then you get into like an online match, you play some multiplayer, and then out of nowhere, it's like, damn, I thought I was good at this game. But I like to feel like I'm improving. And a month ago, when I started this game, I did struggle with a lot of the systems and concepts, but I just really enjoyed it, and I kept at it. Similar stuff is happening with Spirit Island, so yeah, if this game felt like it was a lot all at once, don't worry, that's totally normal. That's with any game, to be honest, but I highly recommend trying out this game. It's got a good theme, it's got good gameplay, and again, I will stand by my statement from the beginning of the video that this is probably the best competitive board game of all time. Unless you count games like chess, but are those really board games? They're like sports at this point. Anyway, remember, 5 likes, just 5, and I'll convince Ethan and a bunch of my other friends to hop on for just a free-for-all in this game. And we'll upload that, and who knows, maybe if you're interested in just seeing more of like what this game has to offer, like the other factions and stuff, please comment down below what you'd like to see. Alright, That was all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.